All right, so now we're going to take a look at section 7.8, which is dealing with some additional considerations for budgeting. We know that the budget modeling process is going to apply to the three different types of businesses: manufacturing, service, and merchandising. So it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, you can still use pretty much the same process, but there might be some slight things that are different. And so, for example, for manufacturers, budgets are going to include accounting for raw materials, for work in progress inventory, and finished products inventory. Now, service companies, they're not going to buy raw materials or produce products, but they still are going to incur direct labor and overhead. Otherwise, the budget process for a service company is the same as for a manufacturer. Now, also, and in merchandisers, we know that they buy finished goods and then sell them to consumers. They don't have work in progress inventory or production budgets. However, they do have to budget for their direct labor and their expenses. Now, one thing that can help us that we would want to do is use sensitivity analysis when we're doing our budgeting. And so what this does is it is used to modify the budget calculations based upon different assumptions and variables. And this can lead to better resource allocation decisions and financial planning. So this is really a good thing for us to really look at, is to, run some sensitivity analysis, some what if analysis, and see, what if certain things happen, what are going to be the potential outcome for that. And so this can allow us to better prepare for extreme events that might happen. And of course, they mention the COVID-19 pandemic. You never know when something like that could happen again, or what could happen if, I think I mentioned it in this class, I'm not sure, but there was a company in Tracy that lost their warehouse. It was an over 1 million square foot warehouse, Medline. They lost all of their warehouse. It just burned. It's just gone. So, even what would be the impact of something like that if, heaven forbid, something like that was to happen to your business? Obviously for them, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They were able to pivot very quickly. And it's really important that they did that because, of course, a lot of hospitals and other places are depending upon them. But I'm sure that they've done this, sensitivity analysis to understand if something like that happens, what's going to be the impact on our finances, and to make sure that we have enough capital, enough money available for us to make the changes and do what we need to do. But even the COVID, we don't know, something like that could happen again. We hope not, but so it's important to be prepared for that. Different things that would lead to shifts in consumer behavior or supply chain disruptions, workforce changes, anything like that. So this sensitivity analysis can help us with that. It also allows budget plans to remain flexible and to be adaptable to changing circumstances. So it is a helpful tool for us. So which of the following statements out of these is true? Is it A, that merchandisers don't need budgets because they buy finished goods and sell them to consumers? We know that's not true. Is it B, that the budget calculation should never be revised based on different assumptions or variables? We know that's not true because that's something that we certainly want to do. It's important to do that to give us more intelligence to know what could happen given certain scenarios, to make sure that we're prepared for them. The budgeting, is it C, that the budget modeling process applies only to manufacturing and service businesses? We said it doesn't. We said that merchandising, manufacturing, and service businesses can use this and do use this. So it is D, that sensitivity analysis allows for budget plans to remain flexible and to be adaptable to changing circumstances. And that's something really important we need to do and be aware of.